When I was a boy, my brother and I asked our mom and dad if we could learn to play the guitar because it was during the time of the Beatles revolution and everybody seemed to be playing the guitar. My mom, in her wisdom, said, I'm going to have a Canadian Conservatory of Music in our city come to our house and give you what they call a musical aptitude test to see which instrument you're most suited for. And so both my brother and myself did this musical aptitude test to discern that my brother was most suited to play the Hawaiian guitar, which you play on your lap, and I was most suited to play the accordion. And so for the next couple of years, I was engulfed in taking accordion lessons. I was getting pretty good at playing the accordion, although I didn't like it all that much. But after playing the accordion for about a year in these lessons, my instructor asked me, he says, Steve, we're going to be having a Christmas concert of some of our students in the coming weeks. Would you be willing to play a solo at this concert? I sort of hummed and hawed about it, but I thought, okay, if you want me to do that, I will do that. So he gave me a piece of music that he selected for me, and I thought, well, this looks pretty cool. It was a song called I Ain't Getting Nothin' for Christmas. I thought this would be a great song to play for this music concert. But then as I started to practice it at home, I realized that this was a very complicated piece of music that he gave me. And every time I tried to practice that piece, I got very frustrated by doing so. And so I found all kinds of excuses not to practice. I'd sit down to start practicing, then I'd see my friends out playing road hockey on the street. I'd go and play with them instead. I get caught up in watching some TV show or get all caught up with my homework, etc. I kept delaying the preparation for this concert. And then just a few days before the concert was to take place, I thought to myself, I'm really not prepared, I'm not ready. I can't do this in front of hundreds of people that will be there. So I asked my mom if she would call my accordion instructor and tell him that I'm sick, I won't be able to come to the performance. But the next week when I went back to that music lesson with my other accordion students, those students who had performed in the concert received great adulation and praise from their instructor, the other students who were there at the concert. And I was thinking, gee, I could have been one of those. I could have been one that had been applauded and praised. I lost my moment to be in the limelight. I blew it. I missed my chance. That helped me to learn how important it is to prepare to be ready, because if we miss our chance, we'll miss that opportunity to be in the limelight before others. And in today's readings, Jesus says that he'll return in glory to take us with him to be in his own kingdom. But during this time of our earthly journey, we need to stand awake and be prepared, because we never know when he's going to come. He's going to come at the least expected moment in time. This beginning part, the first couple of weeks of Advent, call us to really prepare ourselves for that second coming of Jesus that comes in his glory. But then as we draw nearer to the actual celebration of Christmas, our focus changes to that first coming of Jesus, Emmanuel, in that little tiny manger where he was a child, a lowly little servant of the people of God. We have to trust that just as God was faithful to his promises over hundreds of years, that he would send a Messiah to the Jewish people to set them free, and he did fulfill his promises in Jesus, so similarly, Jesus promised to us that he will return in his glory to take us back with him, to be with him in his kingdom. That will come true as well. That God is the eternal one who never changes, never pulls back his word, and just as Jesus has been fulfilling his promise of coming to us as Messiah, he will come again. We need to prepare. We can't blow the chance by letting ourselves be assuaded by other things that get in our way. We are called upon during this time of Advent especially to think about what it is that we are called to follow ourselves in. And in the midst of our difficulties like health problems, struggles in our families, personal relationships, stresses of work, deadlines that need to be made, Jesus calls us always in the midst of all these things to keep our head held high because our redemption is drawing near. We're not to allow these things to bog us down just to focus on this world, but to focus on the heavens that will call us to join Jesus in his glory. We all exercise faith in many different ways in the course of our lives. We're called to truly have that clinging faith to Jesus, believing in his word. For example, I have faith that when I get into my car after our masses here this morning, that I'll be able to hop in my car, turn the ignition, the car will start, it will bring me back to Lucan where I live. I don't know how the car works, I don't know the mechanisms of the car that make it propel from here to there, but I have faith that that car is going to work even though I'm not sitting in the car seeing it running with my own eyes. In a similar way, we are called to be people of faith who believe that as Jesus has promised us this call of his to the kingdom, we are called to believe that he will fulfill that and therefore prepare ourselves properly for that call when we least expect it. And so during the time of Advent, we see our society so much focused on the here and now, so much focused on the material. And we've seen just this past Friday being called Black Friday, the biggest store seller of the whole year. So many people just focused on the immediate material preparations of Christmas, of buying presents, decorating our houses, cleaning our houses, baking and cooking for that day of Christmas. We are called to keep our heads held high because our redemption is drawing nigh. Especially during this time of Advent, we are called to remember those words of Jesus that he said at the last judgment scene, that whatever we have done to the least of our sisters and brothers, we are to do to him as well. And so in our preparations for Christmas, as we are preparing for the celebration of the birth of Jesus, we are to make this Advent a little bit different from previous Advents. We are to think about the people who will be getting presents for, those who seemingly have everything, and think about how maybe I could give a gift that makes a difference for them, but also for others as well. And possibly this year give gift cards to people that say, I have made a gift in your name to our refugees who are coming from Syria. Or I've made a donation to the London Food Bank in your name. I've made a donation to the Save a Family Plan who helps people in India to get on their feet. And maybe we can give a gift that will help the poor in addition to just helping those who have so much of the affluence of our world. Jesus calls us to always trust in him that his words are true, his words will be fulfilled. And so now let us not let this Advent season go by just simply focusing on the material things of society, but to keep our heads held high, for our redemption is coming near, and we really want to be found waiting for nothing, or truly prepared when Jesus comes in his glory.